Hello, Ross Fertel, faithful reader on the forums, with the anti-penultimate entry, driving from work, looking at cards from the upcoming set Phage. A couple more cards revealed today. One of them's a mission, and I'm going to use the word filler, and I don't want there to be a negative connotation to it, but this seems like a filler mission. Basically, basic skills and no attribute requirements. I mean, granted, the mission's only worth 30 points, but this just seems like something that you'll put in your deck when you've got most everything together and you're looking at the missions and, oh, this mission doesn't seem like it'll work out, but, oh, this other mission does. It is helpful to have good mission selection for the Delta Quadrant, especially if you're trying to avoid things like minor inconvenience and such. Having a good diversity with your missions is always a good thing. You can always afford to have a 30-point mission. You can't afford to have a whole lot of them. A few years ago, the committee had a chairman's challenge for Around the Corner with all 30-point missions. But yeah, this seems like a good one. I imagine that Federation will probably be going more for the integrity option than the strength option. But yeah, good mission to fill out the Delta Quadrant, and we're getting more people in the Delta Quadrant, so having more variety is never a bad thing. That takes care of the mission. Then we have a personnel who's pretty much built like a main, which isn't too odd when you consider that he's based off of the Vidinified Chakotay. Lots of skills. I believe this is the only time we've seen one at a natural double, though please do not quote me on that. But he's a natural double science, and he's got an ability. I'm sure by now you've done the math. But you get the best deal if you haven't completed a mission for the draws and discards. It's not too bad of a deal if you've only got one completed mission. And, well, actually, if you don't command any completed missions, it kind of pays for itself by giving you 4 free draws. Just make sure that you have the space in your hand for it. It's also helpful if you could play him for 2 instead of 4, if he's one of your first 6 played. Yeah. Cool things that you can do with him. Remember, if you find a way to get him out of play, you could easily replay him for another 5 points. Or sorry, for another number of draws and discards as applicable. Lucas did have a really good article looking at the faces of the Vidians. There were only like 9 different prosthetical faces. I'm pretty sure they made a different mask for each person that came out. But yeah, it kind of explains why there's not a whole lot of variety with personnel. And somewhat excuses the 1E duplication a bit, and it does make sense for guys that, for an affiliation that just rips out people's bodies, they could just rip off someone's face and put it on someone else's body. One of the things that I hope isn't lost in the shuffle with this is the event Favor the Bold. It gets rid of cards that are under a completed mission and makes it incomplete. Well, makes it not complete, rather. But know that doesn't affect cards on it. So if it's something you want to use to your advantage, feel free to. But yeah, a card that's built like a main, and you know, if only he had Officer, that is a kind of a skill hole that we've seen on Vidians revealed thus far. For a guy based on Chakotay, it would make the most sense in the world. Alright, there you have it. Discussion on the cards that we have for today. Even though Nabrin Vane or Dranapin doesn't have Officer, he does have Anthropology and Archaeology, which you'd expect to find on Chakotay. I like that he's a historian. Also, one of the few non-current personnel in the affiliation. All right. Thank you very much for listening. See you tomorrow for the penultimate cards revealed. Sorry, with the penultimate day of this, rather. All right. Thank you very much. Have a good day.